I get a lot of questions about how much the process for the Paraguay temporary and permanent residency costs. So today I'm going to dive into what those costs look like because I get so many emails asking me for my lawyer recommendation, which I love. And it means that so many people are interested in getting Paraguay residency, and it's a great starter residency to have. But of course, there are some costs involved, and especially if you want to do it properly the first time, you're going to want to make sure that you hire a lawyer to help you. So today, I'm going to be diving into the costs of the Paraguay residency. Now, I want to preface, before I got my Paraguay residency, I definitely shopped around, as I'm sure many of you watching this and thinking about getting the residency for yourself have done. And I can confidently say that it was definitely in the thousands if you want a high quality agent, or I preferred personally a lawyer in Paraguay. So when I was shopping around, and this is pricing for 2023, it may go up, and I'm sure it will go up in the future. Feel free to email me if you would like my lawyer that I use for the process, her information. I will not put it up on the screen here to keep her information private, but if you would like the lawyer that I used and that I can absolutely recommend, because there are a lot of scams out there in Paraguay, I will say, so be careful of that, then feel free to email me, Nicole@nomadneeks.com. The email is also linked below. However, the price for the lawyer I used was pretty average, I found. If you don't want to go with the bottom of the barrel, I think the lowest I saw was 1,800 USD, but again, that was not for a certified lawyer. So I did use a certified lawyer, and it was a pretty middle range pricing. So what she charges as of 2023, and the pricing are always changing, so please keep this in mind as well. The pricing will likely be going up, and that's why if you are thinking about getting this residency, especially to start out your residency journey, it's great to get a start on it ASAP. Email her, get the pricing from her, and get started with her ASAP. So I paid 2,100 USD, and that is for the temporary residency in Paraguay. I'm sure you know, if you looked into it, you have to get the temporary residency first for 2 years, and then you can get the permanent residency, which I will talk about in a second. But for the temporary residency, it is 2,100 US dollars, and with that, that will be valid for 2 years. Now, that does include the residence permit, but if you also want the tax ID, which probably most of you will, that will be an additional $500. So it's around 2,600 US dollars for everything included in the temporary residency, which honestly is an amazing price. Like I said, feel free to shop around, but from the research that I did hopping on calls and speaking to other lawyers and consultants, this was a very, very good price for somebody who is a certified lawyer in Paraguay. So let's talk about the permanent residency, because yes, that is an additional fee. What I just mentioned is for the temporary residency, to get your temporary residence, which is good for 2 years. But after that, you of course are going to want the permanent residence. So the price of the permanent residence to apply, to get the lawyer to do, again, all of the documentation, all of the paperwork once again for you, is 1,800 USD. And then of course, with that, you have to come back into the country of Paraguay every 3 years to keep that active for basically the entire time that you plan on having residency in the country. I won't lie, these prices are pretty good. I definitely did see higher prices from quite a few companies when I was hopping on calls and shopping around for which lawyer that I wanted to use within the process, and which lawyer just felt reputable, and I knew if I had any questions, it would be no problem to go and ask them. The service I used was very professional. They took me around in a car to all of the buildings when I was in Paraguay to get the process done. Within a few hours, it was done, and they handled the rest and sent me my documents. Very, very seamless. Again, if you are interested in using the lawyer that I used, feel free to email me. My email is below, and I would be more than happy to send you along an email introduction with the lawyer so that you can get started in this process today. So on this topic, there are a few other important things to note. The first is that you can do this process by yourself. Currently in 2023, it costs around 600 USD. You will need to be able to speak Spanish for this process to communicate communicate with all of the various different people that you are going to need to do so within the process. And you're also going to need to be able to receive all of the documents that they send. So that may mean that you may need to be staying in Paraguay for 4 to 5 months, as that is the average time that it will take for the documents to be processed and be sent to you. If there is a longer wait time, it might be a little bit longer. But for me, it took 4 to 5 months to actually get my documents, my residency, and my tax residency. So you can do this on your own, but your Spanish will have to be really, really good, and you will have to be prepared to go through the bureaucratic hoops. Whereas for myself, my lawyer just did all of that for me. My time was really getting the documents done in my home country and apostilled first, and maybe 3 hours on the ground in Paraguay, and the rest was all handled for me. If you are serious about getting your Paraguay residence, I highly recommend checking the link below for my Paraguay mini course. I created a mini course of the entire process and what that looks like for me, from getting the documents, especially what it looks like in Canada if you are Canadian, but the documents that you will need to actually landing in Paraguay, what that process looked like. And then I also included a module on life in Paraguay, because I was so curious what life in Paraguay is actually like in this new place where I'm going to be having residency before I actually arrived on the ground. So I've included a lot about that as well. And if you would like to just chat with me about digital nomad life, travel, or the residency process, feel free to head to my link below and you can book a call with me. If you are interested in learning more about different residencies, the Paraguay residency, and just digital nomad life, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video.